Hi Daniel, thanks for speaking to us today. Daniel, everyone wants to be in Asia at the moment. What's going to make a fund manager stand out?
Well, we're going to spend an hour on that. It's, a couple of things are really, I guess, important here. We did about 300 interviews last year with institutions in the region, with wholesale and institutional investors, sovereign wealth funds, banks, central banks, private banks, family offices. And it comes down to the right mix of four things. Your performance, and of course, this is a business of
that does
performance.
matter.
How you measure it is another thing, but investment performance overall, clearly. Brand, because the perception of your brand, both for institutional and for retail, has become important. And the changes, how you approach brand, how you see brand holistically, not just name recognition. Third, your service, and that sounds like it's common sense and easy, but it's not. A lot of things are being done the wrong way because of operational involvements where you have to cut costs in the wrong time, you can't invest, and so the basic service parameters are not really being fulfilled. And then lastly, organizational stability. And that is more, it's not new, but it's new of how much of a focus it is. How long have the people been with you in the company? Is there a process and a stable process that people believe? Is the organization stable overall? So if you get that mix right, depending on your channel and depending on the markets that you're in, that does make a difference.
Great. It's interesting, you mentioned brand. Obviously it's really important in Asia. What chances do boutique managers have?
That's an interesting thing because we have a phenomenon that we've observed over the last couple of years called the blockbuster phenomenon, where the industry last year got 200 billion in cash flows.
Right.
But the top 1%, so the 1% of this global discussion, got 1 trillion.
Yeah.
So 5 times more. And these blockbuster funds are both to what we call Goliath managers, the big BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, the big names, as well as boutique firms. And here would be value partners in Europe, Carmignac, and in the US and Latin America, different managers. It does not depend on how big you are. It does not depend on which region you operate in, and it also doesn't even matter which investment objective you're in. What does matter is, are you able to, going back to that first mix, create a blockbuster phenomenon, a theme that people can relate to? Are you good at it, and is it understood by the client? And that boils down to two things: your investment process and how clear it is, and then also the clarity of your product positioning. So it's brand is becoming very important, and there's a third mix here: big, small, and multi-David. So the multi-boutiques, where you have a global overlay of economies of scale and distribution power, but you have small boutique firms. So I would actually make the case that yes, big brands stand out. For institutions, it's not that important. But then again, this right mix for a boutique or multi-boutique could be a value that you bring.
Of course. And do you see changes happening here for boutique managers?
Well, I mean, if you look at firms like Value Partners, they've been very successful with 1 or 2 products that they do very well. And that has really benefited them. And we've seen this for other firms as well. So boutique names can also get big. Aberdeen with Hugh Young have been in Singapore for many, many years. There was global equity in the emerging market as a boutique, not boutique, but a specialist theme. They're now a global powerhouse and have to think about, you have this powerful brand in one area. How do you broaden it out? PIMCO has a powerful fixed income brand. They're looking at equities now, at ETFs. So there are multiple questions around that. But here in Asia, you are able to manage it even with a small boutique-ish brand.
Excellent. And are there any particular regions that you feel very passionate about, and why?
Well, you say regions, I'm taking regions and countries. So regions, I'm actually very excited about emerging regions in general, because there's this link between Latin America and Asia that I found so fascinating. In Chile, Peru, Colombia, for example, 80% of the money goes to Asia. But the Asian countries, because of their ratings, oftentimes can't compete. So US and European managers are winning it. That's a chance for Asian firms to change and change that picture. When you look at markets, you have here the dichotomy between North Asia and the Southeast Asian markets. So there's a lot of opportunities in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Thailand, in other smaller markets. But clearly, if you look at sort of this BRIC idea, and there's Brazil, there's China, there's India, there are huge opportunities longer term. What is needed, of course, is, and we've heard this in this conference many, many times, investor education and even institutional education, because there's still a lot of groundwork to be done. So when you're talking about excitement, there's a lot there, but there's also, the challenges are in the little hiccups when it comes to this not being a one region,
Yeah.
but a matrix or a mosaic almost part of multi-fragmented, multi-local approaches that you have to take to then build a more global
course.
business. So the devil is in the detail.
Yes, definitely. Excellent. Thank you, Daniel, for your time.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.